Welcome to the CrossFit Canada podcast, telling the stories of Canadian coaches and affiliate owners, brought to you by affiliatevaservices.com, where you can get a professional member success assistant for your affiliate for all your admin tasks. They're going to kill me for botching the first one. But today's guest, former affiliate owner now, but still coaching, I'm assuming. We have Mike Deboever, and I always apologize if I botched your name, the French.
You said it perfect.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to say, he's probably humble enough, I'm going to say a living legend. If you've done CrossFit in Quebec, you've probably seen Mike, met him, or even had a lecture translated by him. So Mike, welcome. Why don't you again introduce yourself, where you're coaching now, if you are still doing some coaching part-time, and question of the day. A lot of gyms are doing Murph today as we're recording this on the Sunday of the Memorial weekend. Do you have a memorable Murph story or one that really stands out?
I actually do. I have two anecdotes.
Okay.
One of them is when I did it for the first time with a vest, and I really thought that, this is how you feel the workout, and you feel the pain. It's a push-up workout, but it's you embrace what these heroes go through. It's not just Michael Murphy, it's just everybody. And I felt that when I did Murph for the first time with a vest. So that's my first anecdote. The second anecdote is a good friend of mine. Her name is Julia, and she enters YUL, so my former gym, and she says, I want to try CrossFit. And it's a Sunday and it's Murph Day. And she did Murph, and I'm like, this person's never going to sign up. And she said, oh, I absolutely love it. And she's still CrossFitting to this day and loves CrossFit. And I'm like, I could not understand how we got her to do it. It was so intense, so fun. I mean, the community, I think it's the energy that brought it up. So that's my other anecdote. Like, the community aspect around Murph is just fantastic, no matter what gym you go through. So it's just great.
Amazing. And where are you coaching now?
So I coach for Simon Paquet, CrossFit Games athlete, and Max Lequin in Sherbrooke at l'usine Sherbrooke. They used to be affiliated, and now they are negotiating, and they're not affiliated, but might be coming back. Who knows what the future brings for them? Their decision, right? And I just didn't want to stop coaching. Obviously, my goal. I'll tell you more about it. And so that's where I keep coaching, and as a kinesiologist and CrossFit trainer, it's just a pleasure to do that.
That's right, absolutely. So I'm always fascinated by kind of the origin stories or the introduction. You just mentioned the one lady, her first workout was Murph, not necessarily her first workout, but what and when was your first introduction to CrossFit?
Super simple. My parents had moved to New York when I was a kid. I'm from Belgium. I mean, a kid, a student. And so I would travel from Belgium all the way to New York to spend some time with my brothers and my parents, obviously. And so my dad didn't want us to stay in the living room for Christmas time. And so he said, hey, I got you guys a small membership at the YMCA down the street, which was $20 a month. And I had seen what CrossFit was, and I'm like, oh, and we were swimmers back then, and so like we do a lot of pull-ups. I'm like, what are these kind of pull-ups? And we saw the workout online, and it was Fran. So me and my brother tried Fran, and obviously he was like, okay, what is 95 pounds? We count in kilos. And we did it, and I couldn't finish the workout. I was like, this is way too intense. I ripped my hands on the knurling of a Globo gym bar, and like, he was like, this is stupid. And I said, no, it's not. And I went back home, opened my computer, saw that the first level one ever given in Canada was in Montreal, just a few months after, and it was in 2009 and or 10, whichever. And then that's how I started. Yeah.
Who was? I was trying to. No, Doobie was. I was gonna say, did you have Doobie at your first level?
No, not yet. He was. I owned my affiliate. He did one of his first internship at my affiliate in 2011 or 12, I think, with Mariolo, Hobart, Spencer Handel, and all these guys. Yeah, my flow master was Pat Sherwood.
Okay.
I had oh man, Bergeron. I had Wilson. I had like a Miranda Oldroyd back then.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. It was really cool.
The kind of original, the
Oh
original
yeah,
guard,
yeah,
1.0, Seminar Staff 1.0, or that might even
yeah.
have been 2.0 then.
Yeah, I remember asking John Gilson. He owned Again Faster,
That's
and
right.
back then after the first Saturday morning, I came to him like, "Yo, I want to have that red shirt." And he's like, "How do I do it?" And back then he's like, "Oh, well, you need to know Glassman pretty well." And I'm like, "Okay." And he said, but his words were like, "Coach, just keep coaching." And that's what I did. And then I had adventures, and now I'm translating, and it's quite fun. It's a lot of fun actually.
Very cool. So so I mean, I'm trying to track the
Mhm.
it's like, remember, where in the world is Carmen San Diego here? You were in going to school in Belgium.
Absolutely.
Your parents were living in New York. I'm
Yep.
guessing they're wanting you to finish your studies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then, but you did your level 1 in Montreal. And then you opened your affiliate. Take me through that little kind of.
So, long story short, I'm
Yeah.
in Belgium. My parents had moved, and actually, I was supposed to go with them, but I was over 21 years old, so couldn't get a green card as easy as my brothers. So I
Oh,
stayed in Belgium. And when I moved to Canada, it's because I had friends in Belgium that I was a TA for in university. And so they were like, "Hey, you should come to Canada. It's really close to New York, and you'll be able to see that." And I never came to Canada before. So I just trusted my friend, and I came to Canada. And about 2, 3 months after, discovered CrossFit. Attended my first level 1.
okay.
It was actually a full level 1. You couldn't sign up anymore. So I wrote an email to whoever. I think it was a seminar at CrossFit.com, or like that famous address.
Yeah.
And I explained my story quickly, and I said, "Hey, I don't have much money to travel. I just moved. This is a new country. I know nobody. Um, I have $1,000 in my pocket. If you allow me, I would love to do this." And the answer was, "Here's a code. You can sign up. Here's how you pay. Bring a pencil of this size." And I'm like, "What?" And so I was in. And so that's when I did my level 1, and I never looked back. It was just fantastic. It's insane. It was just mind blowing.
Completely non CrossFit question, but I am fascinated by this.
Hmm.
You, as a Belgian, you would have spoken French, but you would have spoken European French. So
Yes.
what was Quebecois French like for you when you when you got here?
I couldn't understand much. I mean, the expressions and stuff, but the hardest thing was the culture. So,
Okay.
like, jokes. I wouldn't laugh at the same jokes.
Okay.
And so the best way to adapt was to watch comedians. So I knew how to speak English. I knew how to understand the words. With the accent, it was okay.
Yeah.
But the jokes, then I started to laugh and understand the jokes. And when I understood that, then that's where I was able to be more, communicate more with people, and entertain people, make people laugh, and laugh with and tell jokes. And Belgians always say a lot of jokes, so that's
Hmm.
how we communicate a lot. So yeah, comedians were what I did, and watched and understand.
And I mean, I think, like, and actually, it's interesting how we can tie this back to coaching completely serendipitously. But I got
Mhm.
on. It was like Babbel. I think I was like, I want to brush up on my French, and we learn we learned French up until grade 9. But it was something so simple as, in Quebecois French or French Canadian, what we learn here, it's comment t'appelles tu.
Yeah,
But they were actually, Babel was teaching quite literally Belgian French because it had a Belgian flag, and it's comment tu t'appelles.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
The wording is a bit different.
yeah, and you can kind of, I guess, rough translation of like, what do they call you versus what are you called? But I couldn't wrap my head around it. So
Yeah.
I can see how that would have been a struggle. But then, you probably didn't know you would be on this journey to become a coach and affiliate owner,
No.
where communication is paramount.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that I was lucky enough to jump into CrossFit when it started to explode in Canada. It's not, it didn't make things easier, but it was like just really the origin. Like, like it was really like there was maybe one layer from Greg Glassman, like to the
Hmm.
coaches you were talking to. And so that was fantastic. I was extremely lucky to have met Reebok back then and get my affiliate to be open in the flagship for Reebok in Canada in Montreal. And, you know, Reebok took extremely good care of us, all affiliates around the world. Like, for example, Daniel Chaffee was one of the Reebok guys as well. Um, and we were sent to Reebok One, and I met Glassman over there. And I remember having like about 5-6 days of seminars and chit chatting with Reebok and understanding the seminar staff and all that. It was super cool. But at the end of the 5 days, we had like a little book. I think I still have it somewhere. I mean, I must have it. And it said Reebok on it, and you could take notes. But I left the first page blank because I wanted to have a word from Coach Glassman. And so I went to him and I said, "Hey, Coach, so we're all opening gyms around the world. Like they had brought everybody, from around the world. I was like, would you have any words of wisdom for me, like, or any advice, any business advice? Because I'm a coach and I don't know much about business." And he said, "You don't need any advice for business. You are already blessed with luck. But what you need to remember is care, 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 and the rest will follow." And those are word for word what you wrote, because it shocked me completely. I was like, care, 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 and the rest will follow. I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? So from Boston to Montreal, I drove, and I'm like, care, 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 what does that mean? And I'm like, man. And then, like you start your affiliate, everything goes well. And then at some point, you get some more members, member leave, and then sometimes it's not always positive.
Yeah.
And that for me was in the office. I'm like, oh man, numbers are not good and all that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do what Glassman said. I would stand up from my office, go in the gym, and coach. And as soon as I did that, I cared. And I'm like, oh, this is what it means, because I cared about that person. That person then, not that I didn't care before, but when I put
Mm.
real care about the person, what they wanted, and how I could really help them, then that person actually on their own went back and say, "Hey, here's my husband, here's my wife, here's my brother, here's my friend." And I'm like, "Oh, whoa, okay, this is how it works." Like, if we actually care, we don't really have to look at the numbers. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
obviously we need to look at the numbers, but not in the first step. The first step is care. And once you care, the numbers follow. It's almost like, why do you go to the gym? Oh, I want to have a six pack. Well, nothing wrong with having a six pack, but if that's not a side effect, then if it's your priority, it's going to be very tough. But if you focus on moving better with intention, and that you are looking at numbers for performance, and that you're doing it without hurting yourself, then obviously, a side effect is your body composition is going to change,
Yeah.
right? If you change the focus. So, like, um, I really understood that in the business, if I cared, then it worked. And some people say you can't teach care. I think that's not a good quote. I think it's like, you don't have to teach care. You have to tell people to remember, hey, our moms like taught us this.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when we were in school, and when like, it's like, bring back the values. Like, you really care about somebody. Like, come on. Like, if you just put your guards down and just help that person, then everything goes much better. So
Well, I think of nutrition coaching, where they say, focus on the behaviors, not the outcomes.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely,
And so to that point, like, exactly. Not that the business numbers don't matter, but
they do. But
it's
if you,
it's an outcome. Those are outcomes
yeah,
of caring, right?
yeah.
And um and then it's interesting about how I feel like care is still relevant today, because
Mhm.
it's just maybe focused differently. And I guess what I mean by that is, now there's more resources than ever. Like, you
Yeah,
almost had to at that time go and kind of, okay, I'm going to figure it out and just care about the people in front of me.
yeah,
But
yeah.
maybe now care looks like coaching development, studying, going from level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and all that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what it means. Yeah. If like people that say they don't need that kind of education are it's just they don't know. They don't know yet. Like they're gonna figure out, like the,
Mhm.
the real care of a person is not just because you have passion. Like the passion will meet the business when you are going to add the secret ingredient in that, which is education. And it's really like
Yeah.
Kalipa said it. Like you can have a passion, but if you don't have any business education, it's going to be tough. But if you link a bit of both, I mean,
Mhm.
come on, the passion and the business together is education. And I don't think there's any, I mean, I haven't seen anything better than, like the level one, level two, or level studying or level three. I mean, and I'm not saying this being biased because we're
Sure.
on a CrossFit podcast. Not at all. It's like, I mean, I went to school and the level one and the level two are dumbing down the most complex things about the human body in one weekend to allow people to elaborate about their education and learn more about their experience to share that with other people as coaches or business owners. It's fantastic. I mean, doing that without a level one and a level two, it's like never knowing that you have a safety belt in your car and never putting it on. I mean,
Mhm.
you're waiting to crash. Like that you're never gonna evolve. How do you do this? I mean, in my opinion, it's it's a big debate, but I'm convinced about it.
Well, and usually, like, and you mentioned Daniel Chaffee. So again, as we're
Yeah.
recording this, we're one week out from being in Banff, and he was there in Banff with us for a Canadian West Coast
Mhm.
Summit. And
Lucky
he,
you guys.
but yeah, and he had come to Montreal 2 years ago as well. But he shares all of his insights to his business. He just says, "Here's my open playbook." But the point being is, in order for someone to go from like junior coach to coach, they need their level two, right? It's like, so to even just be like, it's like, hey, you're a junior coach and then coach. So he has continuing education and CrossFit EDU as part of his success trajectory for his staff. Well, it's no wonder he has three of the most successful gyms in the world, like all
And one of the greatest events. I mean, the
right.
French Throwdown. I mean, it's to me, it's the best event after the CrossFit Games. I mean, the CrossFit Games being the top of the thing. I mean, the
Sure.
French Throwdown is like everybody talks about the Waterpalooza, and all respect I have for them, the French Throwdown knocks them out. Like, I mean, it's insanely well organized. Um, if you want to see an event where you can actually feel and almost touch the care, and the rest will follow, it's that event. Like
Yeah.
Danielle is like, I've seen him in 2018, I think it was. He said I was there as well with Matt Dubruck, and he said you guys should come to my speech to the volunteers. It's incredible. I mean,
Mhm.
I wanted to volunteer, and I was there as a coach, and I was like, man, this guy really cares. From the judge to the coach to the guy who changes the garbage bags. I mean, what? And they're all on the same level, and that's because he brings that. And now, a few years later, I went this year as well.
Mhm.
You can see all the people that are helping him. Like he's got an army of loyal guys that are super awesome. Some are on staff that are bringing these values with them, and they're not copying. It's they have these values in them, and that's what Danielle is doing that. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
if every gym owner could look a little bit to what this guy is doing, oh man, we would we would be. ah, Like it would be fantastic. It's just,
Yeah.
he's also a good friend, but I mean, like if there is like a living example, it would be him.
Sure. And it's just, I
Yeah.
mean, it's the I think of energy, and I might have even mentioned this on like past episodes, but it's there's out of the like the Tony Robbins type folks, there's one
Yeah.
gentleman, Grant Cardone, who does the 10X
Mhm.
method. He says like you got to do things with massive action and realize that it takes almost the same amount of energy to do positive things that it does to do negative things. And
Absolutely.
CrossFit, in the community of CrossFit, is almost kind of divided between these groups that are just default to some sort of negative reaction, negative comment, right? But
Mhm.
realizing like it takes just as much energy to do something positive, but your returns are tenfold. And we see that again with what Danielle's doing, but even now what Rich is doing and that.
Yeah. Yeah, true that. I mean, I know a little bit less about Rich, but I mean, I see it and I hear it through Hustle Up, and but I mean, thank God these guys are there, because like we need to revive the community, and I think people and those who are on the front line, like the gym owners and the coaches, they need to be reassured, and I think that's the right direction. A lot of people are saying right now that we hear it online, oh man, there's a dark cloud over CrossFit. I'm like, what do you mean a dark cloud?
Yeah.
It's the future is brilliant for CrossFit. There's never been a better moment. I mean, wow, like the opportunity that we have to bring it up is right there. Like, we just need to care. That's all we need to do. We need to care about our affiliate owners. We need to care about our coaches. We need to care about their evolution and show them that the support is real. And then after that, we also need to listen to everybody else that is supposedly outside of the boat but still practicing CrossFit, and bring them back in. And I think we could do that. We could totally do that. So I firmly believe it. So I mean, my girlfriend has been working out and at Luzin forever, so that's why I coach there now. And Sherbrooke has, like, it's a very small town. There's very few gyms, not very much in the. There's one affiliate, and so I coach with Simon because I mean, I've known him for years, and they only de-affiliated in November, and I'm like, one day these guys will come back, and there would be a superpower. Like, I mean, I'm confident that nobody's mad at CrossFit there, but at the same time, I'm like, we can bring them. They're not shutting their doors. We can bring them back, and that's, we need to reassure them. We need to show them, but before we do that, like, let's elevate our affiliates. Like, it's fantastic. We saw through the semifinals other affiliate inviting athletes that were coming from other gyms. I'm like, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I mean, and opening their doors on a Saturday afternoon to anybody who wanted, because you just qualified. I mean, we're the greatest community ever. I mean, but without, seriously, like, without CrossFit, you need to put much more energy. Like, I mean, the care, like, how do you walk into an airport? I mean, if you walk into an airport and you see a person with a CrossFit T-shirt, I want to go talk to that person.
Right.
Yeah,
I
but if
always
they don't,
I do shoes. I look at shoes. I'm like,
shoes, yeah, nanos,
who's
like,
got
yeah,
nanos? Who's got metcons? Who's got something? Right. But yeah, carry on.
yeah, of course. I mean, or the backpack. You're
Yeah,
like,
that's the
oh,
patches.
yeah, they patches. I'm like, oh, you CrossFit, eh? Where? And then you're like, what's your front time? Did you do the open? I mean, it's amazing. That energy can never die. It's impossible. It's impossible. You this is not. We can't touch that. You
Well, it's
know?
like, yeah, and I mean, it's an expanding universe, but realizing like the kernel still stays the same, and like the
Yeah.
sun still stays the same, especially like for you to speak that passionately about it. From when did you open your affiliate?
It was 2011. Yeah,
2000,
2011.
right? And
Yeah.
so, and then when did you sell? So basically, how long were you an affiliate owner for?
So the story for that one is,
Yeah.
so we were with Reebok and we had a lease for 7 years, right?
Okay.
And so when 7 years were gone, we renegotiated another lease for 5 years. So that brought us to 12 years. But at that time, I negotiated under the umbrella of Reebok. So our landlord, Reebok, they were like, okay, like, amazing having Reebok. Then the pandemic happened, and then the contract with Reebok was over. It was a 10-year contract. So 2021, in March, we were around the world. There's no fight with Reebok. We love Reebok. Reebok loves CrossFit. Everything is great. It was the end of a contract. There's so many, rumors, but I mean, it was just the end of a contract, which was okay. We are friends of the brand. It's absolutely fine. And so I was on my own now negotiating. And when 5 years were over, which was last August, I went to my landlord and he said, yeah, we're going to have to talk about it. And I'm like, what do you mean we're going to have to talk about it? I'm like, okay, well, all right, I'll wait for your email. And then 2 months after, I have an email. Let's talk about the lease. and he announced that they were going to sell the building. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, so I can't really renew, but I'll introduce you to the new owners. And
Yeah.
thank God, these new guys, one of them is a CrossFitter. So he said, we don't want to close your gym, but we'll move it. In the same building, we'll move it. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, whoa, I know what it takes to do this, but like, this is going to be a hell of a big, project. And
Yeah.
so I was surrounded by, the new owner and my friend, and she was my manager back then, Emily Renier. She helped me from A to Z to move. Like, so without her as a manager, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Like, I mean, it was awesome that we kept the gym running. We built the other gym at the same time, replaced everything, new rigs, new floors, everything, reinvested money in there, which, like, we have no debt. So it's amazing. It's you have to plan this for years, right? And so we did. And then one day we were just talking, like, hey, how about you hop in as an owner with me? And she's like, yeah, I would be very interested, like a 50-50 kind of. I'm like, yeah, why not? Like, I'm open to this. You have great ideas, your values. She's a mom of three. I'm good friends with her husband. I mean, wow, why not? And then as we were going, we didn't sign, but as we were going, we felt, okay, wait a second. It's not just because we're friends that we could do this. Like, we have to actually get along business wise. And having strong ideas, both of us are like, oh man, friendship needs to be, we need to care about that friendship. And I'm like, we can't do this. At the same time, and my parents were moving from New York to Oregon. So I went to my parents and I helped them with the move. And I stayed there for a month where I reflected, did a lot of, we have a garage gym there. So I, did some CrossFit, some biking, cycling, and took some time off. Emily was really nice to say, hey, take that time, you need it. And it felt really good. But then during that time, I was thinking, like, hey, wait a second, would you buy the affiliate? I mean, I just signed a new lease of 10 years, and we're renewing our affiliation with CrossFit.
Yep.
And she was really excited. She's like, oh, you know what? The 50-50 was actually a strategy for me to just ask you in a few years to buy you out. And I'm like, wow, really? Okay. Well, why don't we just play the game of negotiating? And so we did, back and forth a couple of times. And then she offered me the right number, which was, people may think, oh, Mike was attracted by money. No, not at all. Like, everything is for sale.
Of course.
But at the same time, I was like, okay, I feel there is something else that I could do. And I'm telling you, and this is on this podcast, one day I will have another affiliate. That's for sure. I didn't quit at all, like zero. I absolutely love having an affiliate. It's the best job ever. I'm blessed with loving what I'm doing. I love coaching, changing people's life, and having an affiliate is fantastic. Right now, I feel that it is a good change to see what's going on. And I'm actually not just doing some coaching at Luzin. My main job is Hustle Up, and I coach gym owners. I help them with different strategies and stuff that I do, and I advise and show their coaches what they should be doing, such as pursue your level 2, pursue your level 3. It's so important, and right now that's a great opportunity that I have through Hustle Up to do that. So doing all of this, Emily came in in December 2024. She bought the gym, and she's running it like a perfection pretty much right now. I mean, from what I see, it's going pretty well for her, and she's also a new translator on staff, which is good for her as well. She's got some new coaches and upcoming coaches that she's forming, which is great. And so all this to say that it was a pretty cool trip, from Reebok to leaving Reebok to surviving a pandemic to handling a sale, which is not a small step. It's a pretty big and emotional step, very emotional. But this brings us to what's happening in Canada. How can we help more people? And so now I'm involved with a lot of events, and lucky enough to travel a little bit for Hustle Up with CrossFit. The next step will be France again for the affiliate battles that they have there under CrossFit France, and then back to Albany, and then the Super Games. And so it's like there's a lot of projects going on.
That's very cool. I want to stay on this for a moment though, because
yeah.
You mentioned it, like, it's funny how you almost had to not validate, but say, like, I sold my affiliate, but I'm still like in, because it just seems that I'm gonna guess statistically there's probably more kind of like owner burnout sales than perhaps
Mhm. Yeah.
we should want, right? And realizing, like, no, like, selling your affiliate can be a very positive thing.
Mhm.
Or even like what Doobie did is he closed his affiliate down,
Absolutely. Yeah.
went into his garage, and then has now found himself back in the affiliate. So I feel like it's more about being intentional with your own path, as
Mhm.
opposed to just finally reacting to years of almost like being in the passenger seat, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. When, I used to be indirectly involved with all the affiliates. I mean, a new gym would open, I'd be like, wow, this is amazing. But when I would hear a CrossFit gym close, I'd be upset, like if somebody died almost. Like, I mean, it's
I would,
relative there, but like I would be upset. I'm like, oh no, like I mean, how would you get to that point? I mean, what's going on? And I went through this. I mean, I went through sleepless nights and stress and like it's business owners, like if we think it's only happening to affiliates, I mean, talk to restaurant owners. There's the
yeah,
same thing, but the energy you put in, you get out. And if you learn how to strategically and intelligently put your energy into your business, then after that, you you can actually collect more of the output and the outcome, which is not just money. It's just you can make a living, but you also have a lot of recognition and learning how to delegate to people. It's very important. But we care so much that we are afraid. So when I sold it, a lot of people are like, "What's happening with you, Mike?" I'm like, "No,
mhm,
no, 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 no. I want to get involved with the CrossFit community way more, way more. Like this is I am not leaving. This, and it's impossible. Like I mean, it almost feels like it's in my DNA. It's like
right,
I will. I mean, I'm not here to defend CrossFit, but I'll fight for CrossFit if you know what I mean. You
yeah,
know, because there's nothing to defend. If you understand CrossFit perfectly, there's nothing to defend. It's what we need to do. This is what I want my parents to do. This is what they actually do. They're in Oregon. They go to an affiliate. They're amazing family. They make new friends, and at 70 years old, my dad can see himself hike the mountain over there with my brother's son, his my nephew, and it's amazing. I mean, at 70 years old, he feels good. We compare workouts. Like, I mean, this is fantastic. We can't remove this. And so um that's why one day we'll see, like, potentially like another affiliate would be great. Who knows where? Because a lot of people ask me, and like, and when, but who knows, maybe between the 2 to 5 years, uh, and figuring out how I want it, because once you do the first thing, the second one's going to be even better. And so,
right.
anyway, this is what I feel where it's going.
Yeah, and I mean, I love that what you said, in the sense, because it really is true, in the sense of like, I always tell people who start CrossFit, I was like, listen, just so you know, I use my hands. I'm like, CrossFit is like the Bible, and then
Mhm.
where you are right now is a church. Like, and right, and
Yeah.
we as affiliates are free to interpret the Bible however we want. And I say, like, we're a little bit more orthodox, you can say, like, we try to stay true to the book. And to that point, it's like each person's faith is their they have the freedom to express it how they want and live by it,
Mhm.
right? And that becomes it. And it's like it can be a polarizing question, but I also feel like, in the sense of like affiliation, and is it worth it, and this and CrossFit and that, and tying yourself to, like you said, an entity like CrossFit as an organization, but maybe more, when we say CrossFit, we think of this collection of people, methodologies, and people who care.
Yeah.
That
Values.
when someone says, like, not doing it or not affiliating, we almost just don't really understand the question, in a way. And I loop when I say us, I mean, I'm kind of looping us together. Like, I mean, I can't even consider not affiliating.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to me. I mean, if I reopen a gym, it'll be affiliated, and there's no question asked. I mean, obviously, I want communication with CrossFit, but I could see the communication. I could see that we're trying to evolve. I could see that we're putting things together. I mean, come back in 2011.
Yeah.
We have nothing. I mean, yes, okay, we could say you paid the affiliation to be on the map, and now you don't need to be on the map because you're on the map, Mike. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like
Yeah.
people say, yeah, well, yeah, but you're known and people know your name. I'm like, really? Last time I went to the store, nobody shook my hand. I mean, hey, and you enter Costco, nobody knows me yet. I want to coach everybody I see at Costco because they all need it. It's like, no, I need to be on the map. I need to communicate with gym owners. I need to see that this community goes up, and it's because you can be mad in life at whoever is the guiding entity, but that what does that do? Like, I mean,
Right, what about this person, you know?
yeah, bring the change yourself. I mean,
Right.
who said that? I think is it Nelson Mandela who said, "Bring the change you want to see in the world."
I think it
Be
was
the change.
Gandhi. I
Oh,
want to
Gandhi,
say
yeah,
Gandhi. Yeah,
Gandhi.
be the change you wish to see in the world. Yeah.
This is what we need to do. I mean,
Yeah.
and one of my values is the quote that Glassman told me: "Care, care, care, and the rest will follow." I mean, uh,
Well,
do that.
it's like and then we talk back about that positive energy. It's like if you just trust your values,
Mhm,
live with a positive energy, an opportunity, and keep pushing that, an opportunity will come. So let's dig a little bit more into that hustle up, because I'm gonna guess, I'm an
mhm.
affiliate owner. I last year at the Toronto Affiliate Summit, hustle up was a part of it,
Yeah.
but that was a first introduction, and now we as affiliate owners and CrossFit Open participants have started to see that brand. So maybe let's talk a little bit about that, but then also how the opportunity presented itself for you, right?
Yeah.
Not just Let's not just shamelessly plug the organization, but
No, no, but
realizing that everyone who's in the ecosystem of CrossFit is one handshake, one positive interaction away from finding their own like
mhm,
way to stay involved in the community and make it a career.
mhm. So, yeah, there's a lot of things there. So, where to start? First of all, the reason I work for Hustle Up is because they carry the values I care
Yeah.
about. So that is 100%. They care about people. They really do. Otherwise, I wouldn't work. I mean, right now, I could I just sold the affiliate. I'm okay to just pause a bit and then
Sure.
recharge and then go back again. It's not about the job. It's just because they really care, and the way they care is just very impressive. You know, they they want to listen to affiliate owners, they want to listen to event organizers and the coaches, and they want to elevate everybody. They actually the company would not work if we don't elevate everybody. So if we just get money from our customers, that won't work. It won't last. So the opportunity came up about 6 weeks ago, a month and a half to 2 months, where a friend of mine just said, "Hey, listen, we may be looking to grow in our team." And I'm like, "Hey, you know what? I always told you that I wanted to work with you. If ever, I'd be interested in sitting down with whoever hires there at the Hustle Up." And then one day I got the email and I said, "Hey, you know what? Let's do that Google Meet." And so I met Facundo and the whole team, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, and one of
Mhm.
the guys who's in North America with me, his name is Matt. Used to be in school with my brother when they were kids in school in Belgium, and so I recognize him, and they're like, "Yeah, I know. I gave a seminar in Belgium in 2015, and he was taking pictures with me. Like, I need to take a picture, man. You're an OG." And I'm like, 2015. I mean, and I remember I still have that picture. And right now, he is a super king into the CrossFit world. I had his affiliate moved to the US because he married an American woman, like beautiful person, and we work super well together to bring us up to North America, which is
Mhm.
doing pretty well. So we started, he started a year and a half ago, I think, or a bit more maybe.
Mhm.
And so he kind of supported me into working for Hustle Up. which is quite the job. It's quite the job. We you got to be ready to well, it's the care, right? So
Yeah.
when we care about affiliate owners, we work with France and we work with the US, and now we work to organize parts of the CrossFit Games with the conferences and all that. I mean, we're not a big team, but a
Sure.
lot of developers that are working really hard to make it happen. It is awesome. I mean, like we need to think. I have notes everywhere on this desk, and it's all about listening what people need
Sure.
and bringing it up. And that's where that's where it's interesting for me, because they wanted an affiliate owner, former affiliate owner, which
Mhm.
I was. They wanted somebody who would speak French and English and maybe other languages. Okay, I speak two languages, but they all speak like maybe two or three there. And they wanted to have people that are like, um, care about the other person. Like I care about my teammates,
Yeah.
and I care about my teammates not to go against other companies, but just to understand what the owner needs. We actually don't care about the other companies. Like, do your job. I mean, do your thing. If anybody wants to go with whatever Wodify, push press, or whatever, yeah, I'm fine with it. Like, do it. We just want to make things better. Like that's all we
Sure.
want to do. And I'm. I mean, it's a question of values. I was lucky enough to spend a few days with them and with the owner, one of the owners of the company in France, with for the French Throwdown.
Mhm.
And when I saw how he cared, I was like, okay, I thought I cared a lot. And I'm like, I was humbled. And
Yeah.
he's a great, great guy. I mean, he probably will see this, and he knows I told him already. But
Sure.
it is it's the teamwork. I know he's got my back. I got his back, and the whole team is like that. And he built that. When a true leader, just like Danielle does with his team,
Right.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Well, but it's interesting how like all a successful affiliate is distilled down is a team of people who care,
Hmm.
who have to focus on the person that's in front of them,
Hmm.
respond and react only to the person who's in front of them at that moment, and then
Absolutely.
try to deliver a kind of steady experience across the board, no matter who on the team you're interacting with. So
Yep.
it's I think sometimes maybe coaches don't really maybe understand how much life skills they're getting out of really being in an affiliate at a high level and coaching, because
Yeah.
you've been able to just transition those resources into a new opportunity, but they're so much the same.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, if we can teach the owners that if they delegate well to their coaches or head coaches to bring protocols that will keep the coaches accountable to what they have to do and the mission they have, without, like, once you're in a gym, you may sometimes forget that. Like if you go
Mhm.
there every day and you work for that gym, you may forget and you may take that for granted. But you know, imagine that coach that goes there every day, has weekends off for a good year, feels that it's his home, and you see that he takes that for a little bit for granted until the day his mom walks in, and all of a sudden there's like an extra care. Or his
Mhm.
girlfriend walks in. Oh, my girlfriend's coming tomorrow, and then all of a sudden he coaches the class, but he gives them extra care. I'm like, okay, treat every member like if they were your brother, your girlfriend, your parents, right? Do that. Like, why wouldn't you do it? Oh yeah, but we don't get along with everybody. The relationship that we make with every member in a gym is not the same, of course, but this is our power. This is what we are able to do. You don't have to be best friend outside of the gym.
Yeah.
All you need to know is that you will have an impact. So let's just make it positive. But for this, protocols, this is the care, and then the protocol of a head coach is to teach and keep their coaches accountable, and that is through seminar education, meetings, and expectations and stuff like that. And then obviously the owner not to take the head coach for granted, and make
Mhm.
sure that they elevate them, and everything goes pretty well. And at the end of the day, the community just will. I think that one day we'll study the business case of CrossFit in university and the psychological effect. It's just pretty. big. It's one of the biggest service industry, you know?
Sure.
So so
You say like, so the psychological effect of being an affiliate owner, or
all of
like
it. So
all of,
from the member
yeah,
to the coach,
yeah,
to take the members, passionate and can't stop. I just signed up a young girl. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a 2 times per week." And I'm like, "Okay, sure."
yeah.
But in the gym I work at, it's like you could do. It's not really a 2 times per week. It's a 9 times per month.
Understood. Yeah, we have something like that. Yeah.
Week one, she did 5 sessions. She's like, "Switch my membership, please." And I'm like, "Yeah, I told you. You know, I
Yeah.
told you." And like, I love it. I mean, and I'm like, "Okay, now I need to, calm down your enthusiasm so you don't crash." I mean, but obviously you're gonna like it. That's for the members. You see them, and then through Murph, through the barbecue we do after Murph,
Mhm.
the coaches are excited for whatever reason. You need to find each coaches has a specific reason to them why they're excited to come in the gym. Maybe they're coaches and athletes at the same time. Maybe they're coaches and they're passionate about mobility. Maybe they're coaches and they love on ramp. Maybe they're coaches and love to coach other coaches. Who knows? And we need to find that and just elevate that to the coach and give them and delegate a mission to them in the affiliate so they take care of that the skill they have.
Mhm.
Again, this is how we teach through the level two. I mean, a coach that coaches without having followed his level two is doing a disservice to himself or herself. I mean, you're not. Do you love coaching? Yeah, you're going to 10 times more love coaching after a level two. Ten
Yeah.
times. It's like, how? I can read the manual. I'm like, it's not about reading the manual. It's about being coachable.
Yeah.
It's about being coachable. When Matt looks at you and he's like, after those 5 minutes of mid-ball clean coaching to other coaches, and he tells you this was wrong, and if you learn how to take it, you are going to be such a good coach because you understand completely. And I'm mentioning Matt, but like any
Of
coaches on
course.
staff, right?
Yeah.
I just know Matt is a friend there, but uh,
Yeah.
and the seminar staff in Canada is they're all super cool. But if one of them tells you this was wrong, if you're coachable, this is how the coaches are going to be able to express their skills. And so if we care about that, and then obviously for the head coach who programs, um, like allowing that head coach to make mistakes, it's normal, and just give them the power to fail and then get back up and fail and get back up. If the owner puts pressure on their head coaches because they want the perfect programming and it has to
Mhm.
come from whatever programming sold online. I mean, no, like let's care about the head coach cares about the coaches about the community about the coaches, and then the coaches about the head coach. The owner is just there because he's going to do a little bit of everything and make sure that he's the chef in the kitchen, and he's going to help everybody. And it's just a super cool atmosphere if we can do that. But if we don't help people, if we don't care about them, it's
Mhm.
not going to work. If it's only a business, it won't work. It has to be. We need to express passion through business, and business will flourish only through passion, in my opinion. Otherwise, I mean, it won't work.
Well, and exactly, and we see that for the in some of the affiliates that don't make it. It's almost if there was like the ability to do a post mortem or an exit survey, what would be the consistencies along there? But you said it is like, for me, I always view CrossFit as the kind of vehicle that gets us all to where we want to be in life, right? The
Mhm.
vehicle, but this is purely my opinion, and this is an independent thought, not represented by anyone who works for CrossFit or CrossFit Canada. But like when people say like our sport, like when they talk about like what happens in the affiliate, and then they still use the term our sport. I always feel that's a bit of a misguided thought, is because like someone is
Mhm.
free to pursue the sport, but when it comes to coaching and caring about the people in front of you, you may be projecting your thoughts of the sport of CrossFit onto these people when they're like, I just want to be able to hike with my grandson up a mountain.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so it varies, I guess. Maybe the long-winded way about this as I string this thought together is as the best way to improve your fitness is to work on what you're weak at. And
Yeah.
maybe it's the same way with like business and relationships and just life. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
formula for life, is like having that introspective mindset to say, like, where can I improve? Where am I weak in life, in the gym, in business?
I feel that CrossFit is a tool to understand how to live life, to me, because CrossFit doesn't build people, it reveals them. I've seen that quote. I don't know who said that, but it reveals people. And I think that the values you understand through hardship into a CrossFit workout um, is what you can take outside of the gym. How can you translate what you're doing through thrusters and pull-ups into real life in your job, in your quality of life with your family, your spouse, and how do you translate these values? But this comes from, obviously, again, the team and the staff in that gym. That's the beauty of CrossFit. Every single CrossFit gym is going to be a bit different because they're going to be at the image of, obviously, the owner or the owners. And
Mhm.
if that person is really more like of a competitor, then it's going to be a gym like that. If it's more of a like a moms and pops and or family or community, and if we can slowly bring all of that a little bit together, it works very well. It took a few years for me. I used to compete quite a lot. Now
Sure.
I still do some events for fun, obviously, but really just for fun before the pandemic. And after the pandemic, for me, that's where it's divided. I mean, it's before 40 and after 40. um, I used to be thinking that you needed to CrossFit to perform at all
Mhm.
costs. But I'm like, wait a second. Now I moved to Sherbrooke, this town here in the east side of Quebec. I mean, mountain biking is fantastic. Like hiking, skiing, and all of that. That is what life is about. And so when somebody goes into a competitive mode in CrossFit, I'm like, this is awesome. I think you need to have a way in, prepare yourself, surround yourself with the right coaches and the right crowd, and like you can really have fun and see stuff that you couldn't even imagine doing. But you also need a way out, because
That's
at
right.
some point this will stop. And if you don't have a way out, usually we see athletes stopping completely or like
Yeah.
switching sports. And I'm like, use that so you can translate it to life. And if you can, like complete a workout, go through a hard, decision to make into a workout or a competition, team workouts. And if you can take those values and bring that to outside of the gym, that's where it's beautiful, and this is
Mhm.
whatever you need to, whatever you do outside of the gym, how you do anything is how you do everything.
That's right.
And there's no better way through, I mean, in my opinion, there's no better way than through CrossFit. I mean, uh, you can't cheat, you can't move wrong, you have to work on your weaknesses. I mean, if we do this in life, isn't it like what makes life better? I
Yeah.
think so.
We don't move the goalposts. We don't make it easier.
No, exactly. We just you know fight through. I was lucky enough to survive a cancer in 2017.
Wow.
That was a big eye opening and massive one. I'm like, hey, wait a second, that's not what life is about. Life is about, oh, I gotta actually, why am I CrossFitting? And those were big questions. And I know why I'm CrossFitting because I need to be. I want the reason I'm crossing today is not for tomorrow, it's for in 10 years. And
Right.
it's my investment for my health in my controllable environment. But when I do that, I have to also realize that I could and will impact other people around me. And if I will I touch everybody? I don't think so. And I hope not, because I can't. But if I understand that I will impact people by thinking positively and acting with integrity, I mean, there's no. I mean, in my this is what brings me happiness and joy in life. You
Yeah.
know, I used to hire. I still talk to coaches like that. When I used to hire them, I would say, "Hey, knowing how to coach will develop itself. I will not see this in this interview right now. All I need is that you have the energy to do it. You have the will to do that and to evolve and get experience. You need to keep learning level one, level two, any other seminar that you may think that would bring stuff to your like more tools to your toolbox to coach, all of that will happen. What I need you to do is show me that you're able to care about the person and be
Mhm.
ready to cry. And I'm like, people would ask me, like, why would I cry? I'm like, because the more you care, the more people open up to you. You're going to be a coach. A lot of people will actually open up to you more than they do to the most important people in their lives. You know, I have had a person come to me and say, "Hey, my husband still doesn't know it, but I'm pregnant, and I got to tell you because we're about to do a workout." And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is amazing because you know what that couple went through to have a baby." Or
Sure.
this person that walks in the office and says, "Okay, they just found that I have breast cancer, and I mean, I'll be safe, but I mean, you are this gym is my escape in my life." And I'm like, you have to support them. But I have taken my car back home a lot of times with tears because I'm like, man, but happiness. But I also like, whoa, this is a big pressure. Coaches, they need to know that this is what they're going to do. I mean, a coach that says I've never cried, I'm like, I don't believe you. You're not a real coach. Yeah, or like, I don't want to be coached by you. What do you mean you never cried? I mean, no, you're going to have emotions. You need to be able to express them. You need to be able to vent, and you need to be able to be solid because you're going to take what people have that is the dearest things to them, and we don't want to know them. It's not public, but be ready to manage that, and that's the care that
Mhm.
we find in affiliate. The stories you can hear in affiliate around the world, I'm pretty sure. I haven't been obviously around the world, but I am pretty sure that if you walk into a CrossFit gym, you're looking at some sort of a way of caring about others. And so that's what's fun. I can't hear you anymore. I think I lost you there. It is
There we go. We're back.
perfect.
But before my audio cut out, the interesting part, whether it's this discussion or even just looking at like how much things have changed but haven't changed at all, or the core has stayed the same. You said you met Coach Glassman at Reebok CrossFit One a
Mhm.
lifetime ago. So
Yeah,
much has changed in that time, but it's like the care remains the same, even in
yeah.
the uncertainty. So there's, there's this kind of rumblings, rumors, whatever you want to call it, discussion. Like, I wonder, record this on May 25th, if that by the end of the year, there will be a sale of CrossFit
Mhm.
announced. Regardless of that, that's not what I'm curious about. Is I'm curious about your positivity and enthusiasm and how you're exuding it in this discussion,
Mhm.
that it doesn't seem like whoever buys it, whatever is going on, is that what you've seen in France and what Hustle Up is planning to do at the CrossFit Games clearly excites you. So
Yeah.
why is that? What's exciting about the future of CrossFit and affiliates and all that for you?
I think that again, that's the word, the expression of the care. And I feel whatever reason for whatever reason they're selling the company, whoever is buying it, I think will care. There are rumors, we know, like we've heard, and through different podcasts and
Mhm.
of who might be these people. Um, at the end of the day, whoever buys it needs to care. And they need to be, and caring doesn't mean like, we need to care about the affiliate and all that. No, it's to care about everybody. We have a greater mission than just running a company.
Right.
The great like the running the company will be secondary to care. If we need to care. I feel that the reason they're selling the company is maybe because the 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 origin of caring kind of got lost. Maybe
Sure.
um, I don't work for HQ, but it feels that maybe there's a bit less care. Feels But if we can bring that back, I mean, man, this would be fantastic. And I was lucky enough at the French Throwdown, like Jay DeCoon was there, and so I don't know him, and I don't seem to be a very shy guy, but I'm not usually like that open. But I'm like, I have to talk to this man. I have never seen or met him.
Yeah.
And so I went and I spoke with him, and we talked about that, about care and education. And I feel that CrossFit should express itself through CrossFit training more. And and we need to elevate what we're doing through CrossFit education. And I'm only a translator, right? I'm only translating. This is it. Like, I'm only translating. But every time I translate, for example, Pete or Matt on programming, or Val on to whatever other lecture, I'm always like, whoa, man, I process this different, and I wish people would listen to this. I was lucky enough just a few weeks ago to just give a presentation at the University of Sherbrooke about what CrossFit was and what functional training is, and what we do with moving large loads, long distances quickly, and that functional movement constantly varied, and realize that high intensity does to the body. And kinesiologists and phys ed teachers will future students were listening to us, and I'm like, they were like, their eyes were like this and sparkling, like we were like super teachers. And I'm like, man, we need to do this more. We need to talk to people more. We need to do what we were taught in 2010 and 2011. Your level one is done. Here's what you do: you grab a PVC or a broomstick, you go knock on your neighbor's door, and you show them how to squat. You show, because I mean, this is, if we know this much about what CrossFit does to others, it is a disservice to the population not to share it.
Right.
And so this is what I think that should and could happen with the sale of CrossFit. I think it's bringing this back, regardless of whoever runs it. Obviously, it is a company. Obviously, it needs to make money, but we need to make money through care. And if we are able to do this, care is a big word that will, support the affiliate owners, support, and I mean, there's already a lot of support for affiliate owners, but
Mm.
we need to extrapolate this, and we need to elevate that a little more, maybe, like, and this is why I told you at the beginning, I'm happy to see that there is a podcast. But this is great. This is, affiliate summits. That's fantastic. Conferences at the CrossFit Games. I mean,
Mhm.
this was not there before.
Right.
It's, like, we need to, so many things happen in the CrossFit sphere that we need to just keep it positive. We need to elevate it. And it's a great opportunity that it's for sale now, and it's for the person with the right values, integrity, and positivity. We can elevate that even more,
Yeah.
and and I feel that's the direction. um I mean, if it's going the direction I think it's going, I don't. There's no negative. It's only positive. The future is absolutely brilliant. And those who are affiliate owners right now are lucky, very lucky. Stay affiliated and keep pushing it, because um, what's coming is great. Uh, be reassured. And for East Canada,
Mhm.
having the games in Albany is a huge opportunity. Drive, come on, guys, let's go. And I will plug them. I'll plug the CrossFit Games here, but it's because I know what's going to happen over there. Just attending those conferences with the speakers there. I mean, guys, come on. I mean, you will listen to these guys on podcasts anyway. So why don't you
Yeah.
come for the greatest event of our community? Like, why don't we support this? Like, everybody's mad, and I was mad last year when Jukic died. It's not fun. We don't want to see this, but we can get back up from this. It's all of us. It's not just one organization. It's all of us. I mean, come on, the people with the right values will bring it up, and I think like we said, we have to be the change we want to see. How
That's
do you
right.
want to be? How do you want to bring change if you remove yourself?
Or
How do you
sit on
want to
your
steer?
hands. Yeah, you sit
If
on
you,
your hands and sulk and pout and bring others
yeah,
down, right?
you can't steer the boat if you're not in it. You know,
That's
I
right.
mean,
Lessons learned is go to the CrossFit Games
yeah,
this year. I mean, as
yeah.
we're this will air in June the way they're scheduled, but there was the flash sale that just happened and they extended it. So we hope that some folks took advantage of that at least.
I
Uh,
mean, I've seen, working with Hustle Up, we are organizing a lot of the conferences. I mean, actually, all of them,
sure.
and we're running the week through the application. Um, I have seen all the speakers. I mean, I've seen a bunch of the speakers coming. I'm like, I hope I don't have to work too much, so I can attend some of those conferences because
Yeah.
it's going to be super cool. Just having Danielle over there, uh, uh, Dan, or like Jason Fernandez. I
Fern,
mean,
Our own Jocelyn's going to be speaking.
yeah. I mean, what?
Yeah.
we, well, I used to think that people like that I would pay a grand or two to just listen to half a day of them, and they're going to be there at the CrossFit Games, close to Quebec and Ontario. Come on, come on. And then for those who are in West Canada, well, flights are easy to make, and it's not that far. You can make it, and we
The Albany
definitely.
airport is lovely. I have been there. It's a
Yeah.
lovely airport.
Yeah, and you can even land in YUL, at Montreal Airport,
There
and
you
the
go.
drive is nice. You just cross the Adirondacks. My parents used to live in Woodstock, just an hour down of Albany.
Yeah.
The Adirondacks is a beautiful drive. Come on, let's go. You know.
On that note, we will see everyone at the CrossFit Games. So 3, 2, 1, time.